Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Jordan Cameron back with another update video of the biggest blow off top in crypto history, followed by the biggest bubble pop in crypto history. Welcome to the journey, guys, and we got a lot to talk about today as we got total market cap breaking into new all-time highs as we speak. Our thesis continues to play out. We got Ethereum within 2% of all-time highs as we speak, and we got Bitcoin also pushing new all-time highs as we speak. And then we also go into the total 3 chart right at its previous local peak from just a few weeks ago, ready to also push into price discovery. A lot to talk about today, guys, and we're just going to continue to talk about our thesis and why we think we're going to get the biggest blow off top that we've seen in crypto history, market cap wise, not necessarily percentage wise, but market cap wise, up to that $10 trillion level, up to the top of our rising wedge before it eventually breaks to the downside, and also basically at the 4236 Fibonacci level, which we also topped out at the 2021 peak. Okay, so let's jump on in. For anyone who is not aware of our thesis, guys, on this channel since the tariff lows back in March, when everyone else was bearish down here, when Bitcoin hit the 50 moving average bands, we discussed why we wanted to be bullish during that time and why we were actually looking for Bitcoin and altcoins to start pushing into new all-time highs. Okay, when the majority was very, very fearful down at the 50 moving average bands, when we had Bitcoin that in 2023 it bottomed at the 50 moving average bands. In 2024 we had Bitcoin bottom at the 50 moving average band. And right here back in 2025, right, in April, once again, Bitcoin bottoms at the 50 moving average bands. Not very crazy stuff, but just following the simple processes. And then our next thesis was Bitcoin was going to, from that point, go up and start a parabolic move up into new all-time highs and beyond. All right, which was basically going to lead us to our thesis over here, which was not only Bitcoin, but that the total market cap is going to have the biggest blow off top in crypto history up to a certain level, right? And we'll discuss, the reasons why we're going to continue to expect that, right? And why nothing has changed and why every little consolidation and a little pullback that we get, people are still in disbelief. People are still saying that that's the top. And we have yet to see the retail come into the market, which we'll also discuss over here on our crypto apps ranking. Okay, so to go over to our total market cap chart, why are we expecting 10 trillion? Well, whales like psychological numbers, right? Whales like psychological numbers, and that 10 trillion point, what a perfect point to trap, right? The the retail crowd, not the 10% of us, right, which is retail, but the 90% that's not in the market, the 90% that hasn't believed in the crypto market since the 2022 lows. All those people will pile in at the top, just as they did in the 2021 cycle, and just as they did down here in the 2017 cycle. Now we have that 10 trillion psychological level, which also coincides perfectly with the 4236 Fibonacci from the bull market high to the bear market low of our previous bear. Right, that leads us to the 4236 Fibonacci level. And if we do hit a top somewhere in September, October, November, December, which is where I think we're going to top somewhere in that region, that would get us also timing wise right in this area right here, which is once again the 10 trillion psychological level, the 4236 Fibonacci, and also the top of this macro rising wedge, right, which we'll discuss in a minute, is actually a bearish pattern. Okay, now before we kind of discuss what we just expect to happen next, right, I just want everyone to know that as we discussed down here at the tariff lows, as this market continues to push up, guys, the narratives are going to get more and more crazy. People are going to get more and more bullish, right? And remember that the higher this market goes, total market cap goes, the more you want to be taking money out of the market and not putting money in, right? The time to be buying most recently was in March and April during the tariff year, but anytime in 2022, 2023 was a good time to buy as well, right? But not the time to be buying, right? There are still some altcoins at bear market lows, which probably still are good buys in my opinion. But anything that's starting to move off this lows, right? Remember, the higher that total market cap gets closer to this 4236 Fibonacci level, the more you want to actually be selling instead of buying. Okay. Now, as we kind of go along, I still do expect this market to go significantly higher, right? But what comes after that significant move higher to the upside is what I expect the biggest bear market that we've seen in crypto, right? Where all the speculative shit, right? The meme coins, these sort of useless coins with no use case, all go to zero. Only the strong coins survive, which I think will be the utility coins. We'll talk about that as we get to that point, later in 2026, which coins we think we're going to survive and go into it, the real crypto bull market, which is, sort of all the utility coins, which I expect to survive, go into the real bull market, in the 2030s. But before we get into that, why are we expecting the market to continue higher, right? Why do we still expect the market to continue higher, even with total market cap at all-time highs, right? Because normally you say, okay, the market could top here. Why do you still think it's going to go higher, Jordan? Well, it's very, very simple, right? It all comes back to our stablecoin dominance chart, and I will repeat this and continue to repeat this. I do not think that the crypto market has topped until I see the USDT and USDC dominance chart reach at least this 4.89%, right? We've seen in 2024 and in 2025, that's when we saw this bottom, right? In both of those scenarios, right? Which was conversely this peak in 2024 and this peak in 2024, right? Those are those two peaks. So until I see stablecoin dominance get back to 4.89%, I'm going to continue to say that I believe that the total market cap chart of crypto is going to continue higher. But as we expected, as this does push down and the lower this does get, I do think that we're going to make a lower low here, but this is going to form a Wyckoff accumulation schematic on the stablecoin dominance chart, which at the end of the day, guys, will not be bullish for crypto, right? So as this pushed down, I do think that this move down on stablecoin dominance, once again, it's inversely correlated to the total market cap chart of crypto. So if this moves down, that's what's going to get this total market cap chart to push into that, higher levels that we're looking towards, right? So as this has room to run down, still expecting cryptocurrency to have plenty of room to go parabolic to the upside here. Okay, so once again, still got plenty of room. We're at 5.67%, right? And I'm expecting at least a move to 4.89%. But you guys can see that we have plenty of room to run here. The closer we get down here, the more warning signs that I do have for this market, though, right? So still got time. But I don't think we have as much time as people expect us to have, okay? Conversely, what else do we have? Well, we have over here on the global liquidity chart, our time frame, okay? A time frame here. And I think what we have to pay attention to is there are a couple different scenarios. You guys can see that global liquidity, which is matched up to Bitcoin. We do expect Bitcoin to follow global liquidity, which is why I'm expecting Bitcoin to absolutely parabolic here until about the middle of September, which gives us about a month, I think, for Bitcoin to reach the 140s to 150Ks. Okay. After it comes out of that, maybe we get some sharp pullback right into October and then go to a final run sort of in Q4. But I would put the middle to end of September on your calendar for a possible local top here for the crypto market, right? Which gives us about, like I said, about a month to a month and a half a possible more upside before a deeper pullback or a cycle top, depending if we see global liquidity top out here or make another push to the upside. So still got time to go. Our indicators, stablecoin dominance still got lower to go, which means we got higher to go on price, and global liquidity still has higher to go, right? With a 2-month forward input against Bitcoin, which gives us more time. So we have more time and more price based on our two indicators here, okay? So that's about where we're at, right, for our indicators. And obviously, our biggest top indicator is our Coinbase app, right? Coinbase app on the App Store, the two previous cycles in 2017 and 2021, both topped, okay? Right, you guys can see here, Coinbase reached, right? Coinbase is the yellow line here. Coinbase reached the #1 app in 2017 right here. That was the top of the 2017 market in December of 2017. And we also reached the #1 app in the App Store as well in May of 2021, which was the first cycle peak in 2021, which I think was the real cycle peak, right? But whatever, right? So Coinbase app only right now is at 282, which tells me that we have plenty of room to run, and retail has not even decided to enter this market yet. Still got plenty of room to run in my personal opinion, right? So that is sort of just the quick update today. I think we got more room to run on the market to the upside for all the reasons that we discussed in today's video. But, you know, just take a quick look at the altcoin market, 825 billion, right? This hasn't even pushed into price discovery. And this is kind of the same chart as we look at with total market cap. I do think this is going to go higher to in between the 2618 and the 3618 Fibonacci, which is also the top of its rising wedge. So as we kind of go along here, still got plenty of room to run on this. I'm not going to go too much in depth on the altcoin market today, but you guys can see it's the same chart as the total market cap chart. And I do think what is going to come is a big parabolic move for the altcoins, followed by a big bubble pop into 2026. All right, so that's the video today. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. It's been your boy Jordan Cameron. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.